The sun's shining bright, a chance to cast your net. Step into the light, life's full of challenges. It's a winding stream, but with Coach Rice, you'll find your dream. Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice. It's a brand new week, the sun's shining bright, a chance to cast your net. Step into the light, life's full of challenges. It's a winding stream, but with Coach Rice, you'll find your dream.
Good evening. Happy Monday. We are back. Coach Rice is back with Casting the Net. Welcome to Casting the Net, where wisdom, faith, transformation intersect. I'm your host, Coach Rice, your professional certified mental health, life, and health coach, trained counselor, speaker, mentor. As you know, this podcast is designed, to to cast a net of inspiration, encouragement, and practical tools to help you thrive through life, because we care about your mental health. I just want to welcome my special guest, Catherine Courtice. She's a passionate writer, speaker, advocate, and educator, empowering those facing chronic pain and life-altering diagnoses. Catherine, could you start by sharing just, where you from and your journey, what the journey that brought you into this particular coaching path?
Thanks for having me, Martha. I live in Canada. I have lived in Canada my whole life. And from the time of a little girl, 10 years old, I wanted to be a sports doctor and help people to overcome ailments that they had and get back to what they most loved doing. So I myself, as a 10-year-old, was a competitive figure skater and ended up with some ankle issues, and a doctor, Dr. Johnson, was a sports medicine doctor, really took me under his wing, listened to me, understood me, and really wanted me to get better as well, where other doctors just kind of looked at me as a 10-year-old and thought I was complaining and that there was nothing really wrong with me. So fast forward, got my kinesiology degree and was heading to the New Jersey School of Sports Medicine, and found out in my fourth year of final exams that I was pregnant with my first child. So life took a big U-turn and ended up going and getting my education degree and becoming an educator, a school teacher, and had a total of 4 children. So life was on that path now. And in 2007, October of 2007, I ended up falling down a flight of stairs at home backwards and putting my head through the wall. And in a split moment, yet again, my life took a big U-turn, but this U-turn was not one that was easily overcome. And I was going from doctor to doctor, therapist to therapist. I was on 18 pills a day, medications a day, and I was walking with a walker. Doctors had told me that I would never get better, I would never recover, and that was the way I would be the rest of my life. My youngest at the time was 5 years old, and my oldest was 13. And so I had a very busy household of 4 kids in competitive sports and a full calendar and teaching full time, running 4 companies with my husband, and I just didn't have time to be down. So I kept trying to push through, and that pushing actually put me further backwards, and I had to hire everybody to drive me, to cook for me, to do my laundry, to help my kids with their homework. My life had shrunk to just pain. And so how am I here now today? I'm a chronic pain coach. I'm using my education of of kinesiology and so many other modalities that I've dived into and learned to actually now help people, just like I wanted to as a 10-year-old, wanted to help people to move, and the people who wanted to get better. Now I'm helping people move and get better and overcome chronic pain.
Wow, what a journey.
Big journey.
Did you ever, for a doctor to tell you that you won't recover, what was that like for your mental health?
It was like being pushed down when you're trying to constantly run up a hill. Because when you're in a situation, and the concepts that I talk about are not just for people who have chronic pain or a diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
It's for any sort of issue that you need to overcome, even a flat tire, I say. You know, we need to overcome situations and issues throughout our whole life, and the concepts that that I understood and I've unveiled and created for my people can be used throughout everyone's life. So being told something like you're never going to get better, and he really, in Canada we have healthcare, and so he leaned up against the wall like this and he crossed his arms and he said, Catherine, you're never going to get better. You're going to be like this the rest of your life. Stop coming to see me. You're a drain on the medical system. I'm not sending you to any more doctors, any more specialists. Go home and just realize this is the way you're going to be the rest of your life. And so I went home with his prescription of there's no hope. And I'll tell you, when we lose hope in our lives, our life gets very dim and very dark.
Yes.
And so I lost hope. I laid on the couch for years in pain, under a blanket, or in my bed with earplugs in and dark glasses on and a hat covering my eyes so the light wouldn't bother me. I really took his prescription as truth until I didn't. Until I laid on the couch one day and I was like, this cannot be it for my life. This is not the reason God put me on this earth, to lay on the couch day in and day out and not engage with my 4 babies and not be able to be of service. And so I realized if I don't change, nothing will change. It needed to be me. I kept looking outside of myself for other people to fix me, other people to come and do a treatment or give me a medication, or, you know, the next doctor that I saw was going to have the answer. And really, it was me who had the answers all along.
Wow. I mean, I'm just picturing you on, hopeless, on your sofa, your children running around, probably trying to get you to do things with them, and you're heartbroken and feeling probably worthless, right? At that point, what was the moment of the epiphany that that said, wait a minute, that got you off the couch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really that I call it the catalyst moment of staring at the ceiling, and I heard my kids in the backyard, and we were an outside family. We were outside all the time. My kids, anything to do with sports, they were doing that. They were never sitting inside watching TV. And even if they were inside, they were rollerblading around. Like, we had a circular area of our house, rollerblading around. I have a son with a big split in the front of his forehead from hitting the corner. But just activity was our life. And I was like mom of the year. They, made all their Halloween costumes, had the best birthday parties, and all of a sudden it was ripped away from me, and I couldn't even help them with their homework. I couldn't even make myself a tea. I was walking with a walker. I couldn't I couldn't even watch hockey on television, let alone go to an arena and watch. And so, like I said, my life was so small, but I knew that there was something else that could be done. And so that catalyst moment was me really saying, it's not someone else, it's me. I've got to hold the mirror up in front of my own face. No one's going to come, and I've said this so many times, knock on my door and sprinkle fairy dust on me, and all of a sudden tomorrow I'll be better.
So it was that you telling yourself, I have to do this. I have to get up and do this. Okay.
I have to figure this out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And some people don't. Some people can't get that far, right? To actually get up, because it's that moment of like paralyzation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And so you get up, and now you on the road to helping others do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I started volunteering. I started volunteering actually at the food bank. That was the very first thing I started doing outside of myself, because my world really got selfish. I was so focused on what I was dealing with, so focused on the life that I had lost, mourning the loss of everything, mourning the loss of my family, my friends, my job. I could no longer teach, my ability to have any hobbies, like everything was ripped away. And so there are so many people in this world that feel as though their life has been ripped away, whether it's the loss of a parent or the loss of a job that they loved, or like myself when I was in university and found out I was pregnant, and my dream from 10 years old to 22 was to be a sports doctor, and all of a sudden that's gone, like that's ripped away. What do we do then with our lives when things are out of our control?
Yes. It's funny how I remember I remember doing research on motivation. And one of the things that Mel Robbins, I believe, she taught on the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. No one is going to motivate you. You're not, that it's motivation doesn't happen that way. You have to just do it. And so, like, if you need motivation to do something, just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just go ahead and do it, and take each moment like that. That was an amazing that's an amazing transformation at that point. And so that sounds like kind of what you did. I don't know, kind of like what the movement that you had to make was to get up on your own and just move forward, because you're right, no one is going to do it for you. And so let me see, so most of your clients, most of your clients that come to you, what is your onboarding process?
Interesting. So I work with people who have chronic pain, and some people are very stuck in their pain and they don't know how to get out. And, like I said, things have been ripped away from them, and they've lost the ability to dream. They've lost the ability to think that there's ever going to be anything different. I lost the ability to think that every day, day in and day out, was going to be any different than laying on my couch or laying in bed. And the next day was going to be exactly the same thing, and the next day and the next day. And so my onboarding really is seeing what it is that a person is missing in their life. What lights us up? What gets our feet on the floor in the morning? And for me, getting my feet on the floor in the morning, I can't wait in the morning to get my feet on the floor so I can sit and talk to people and help them with my experiences, with my knowledge, with my knowledge of the movement of the body, and how we can move in a way that's not going to hurt, and to remove that fear. And so when we have something to look forward to, when we have a vision, when we have a goal, when we have something that we're like, this is what I want my life to look like. So one of the first questions I ask every single person that I've ever worked with is, what do you want your life to look like in a year?
Mm.
If we were going to sit down and have a cup of coffee in a year, what do you want to be able to tell me is different? Because that's our launching pad. That's our board to go, okay, this is where we are, and this is what my framework is. I have a framework called the ARC framework, AARC. And so my framework meets us exactly where we are today.
Okay.
So wherever it is that you are, whether you're like me, who was lying on the couch day in and day out, I was maybe taking 30 steps a day
Wow.
just to go to the
That's-
bathroom and back.
That's not a lot of steps.
Not a lot of steps. Like I said, I wasn't even making myself a cup of tea. And so we can go from where we are today, and we can go through this ARC framework where we can actually start doing the things that we're dreaming of and that we're missing and that we want to bring back into our life. And to be honest, it may not look the same as it did before.
Okay. Yeah, because
Well,
it's different.
It's different. And it's coming to an understanding that different is okay. And if we look back through our lives, Martha, nothing in our life looks exactly like what we envisioned.
No.
We
Not
grow
at
up
all.
and we have these dreams and we have
Yes.
these visions, and we think that, oh, I'm going to get married and this is what's going to happen and everything's going to be like riding off into the sunset. But we have been shifting and changing our whole lives.
That's true.
And so, but we get very stuck in our thought processes as we age, and we don't like change. And it's interesting that you brought up the 5 4 3 2 1, because I use that a lot with my clients. Because if we get past that 5 mark, like if we go 5 4 3 2 1 and we don't launch ourselves and we don't do the thing that we're thinking of, all of a sudden our brain is going to start to make up reasons why we shouldn't.
Yes.
And so then we end up staying exactly where we are. And resistance is a huge factor. When we are in adversity, our brain wants to keep us safe. It's a primal psychological aspect of humans to keep us where we are, because we don't, going out there and doing something different is scary and it creates fear. But we don't have tigers anymore
Right.
in our culture anyway.
Our
but
brain goes,
our-
danger, danger.
Yeah. And so as soon as we get past that 5 mark, 5 4 3 2 1, and we don't go, all of a sudden our brain will start to say, yeah, but you can't do that. Yeah, but it's cold outside. I'm not going to go out today. Yeah, but I might have a flare up. I don't want to do that. Yeah, but I can't go to that gathering with my family because it's going to be really taxing and I'm going to be exhausted. Yeah, but. And for me, these resistances are where our nuggets are. And that's where going through the framework, the ARC framework, which is acknowledge, accountability, reframe, and choice.
Yes.
And it takes us through these processes, and we can, starting exactly where we are today, even if we have a flat tire, we can go through the ARC framework and get ourselves to where we're making the choices of what we can do right now, instead of having the reactions that are going to keep us exactly where we are.
Right. I call it failure to launch.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Just go 5 4 3 2 1. Go.
Oh, yeah.
Just do it. Just get up
Yeah.
and jump out and do it. And when you do that, you reposition your brain to actually launch.
And
But
that's
you're
where the
right, though.
neuroplasticity comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So neuroplasticity is a huge component of overcoming chronic pain, overcoming adversity at all, and helping us to see that our life after adversity, after a diagnosis, after something it is that happens in our life that we don't want, that we can have a rich and meaningful life, even though this happened.
Have you ever had a client who was so focused on the pain that it was hard to get them to move take that next level?
Yeah.
And how did you get them to move in the direction they needed to go?
So that's a great question. So we get to challenge the resistances. We get to challenge the yeah, but. And so I call them a yeah, but client. I might come down the stairs out of my office to my husband and say, well, that was a yeah, but client, but they're not going to stay there if they're working with me. And as a good coach, and you know this as well, Martha,
Yes.
it's our role to challenge.
Yes.
And it's our role to call some things out and say, hey, that's a bit of a cop out. That's a story, right? And so these yeah buts, that's where the nuggets are. I call them the sticky points. And so when I encounter a person that is yeah but, and we've all done it, I was a huge yeah but person because my story enabled me to stay where I was and feel safe. And so every time I hear yeah but, we go deeper.
Right.
Because what I say to them is that 100% true?
Yeah, because it's a limiting belief that's holding them back.
Yeah. And so we dive into, okay, let's talk about the truth of this story. And it may have happened a few times in your life, but the truth is it's not going to happen every time. And so we get to start, and this is a big part of my teaching, is listening to the body. And the body wants to heal. The body doesn't want to stay sore and broken and hurting all the time. The body is trying everything it can to heal by speaking and talking to us, but not in words, in symptoms. And so if instead of running away from those symptoms, instead of running away from the feelings and the sensations that we're having and being afraid of them, we can go to it. It's like a baby having a temper tantrum or a baby crying in a crib. You're not, oh, that baby just cries all the time. No, we're going to go to the baby and we're going to say, okay, what is it? Is the baby cold? Is there an elastic around its leg that is cutting off circulation? Does it need a diaper change? Like all of these things. And we get to do that with our body and meet it where it is and start listening as it's speaking to us instead of ignoring it until it has a temper tantrum.
Right. That's truly important, is for us to pay attention to our bodies. But at the same time, to really challenge our bodies, because they can take, most of the time they can take what we give them, and heal itself. We just have to start the first, move in the direction where it need to go.
And the thing is our movement may not be the same as what we have always done, that always worked for us. It may look different. And so we may need to shift and change and reframe the way we think about our body, reframe the way we think about movement.
Right.
So the movement that we've always done, I was a huge athlete. I cycled across Canada at one point in my life. Can I do that today? I still have chronic pain. It's just my chronic pain doesn't run my life any longer.
Okay.
But I know what my limits are. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay that I'm not playing hockey any longer with the ladies on Wednesday nights.
Right.
Right? It's not a realistic aspect of my life any longer. And I have to be okay with that. And that's where that art framework takes us into acknowledging where we are.
And giving ourselves some grace.
Grace is
of
huge.
Where we are.
Yeah.
So have you went from walking into a wheelchair. Did you ever come out the wheelchair?
So I was with a walker, and I'm not using a walker. I'm driving, I'm reading, I'm working, I'm cooking meals. Um, but I'm also listening
To your body.
every single day so that I can manage, what I'm doing. And I know what my limitations are. And so there's been a learning curve. And this is that neuroplasticity. I never believed that I would ever be able to drive a car ever again
Wow.
because the stimulation, the lights and the other cars, and like it was too much for my brain to manage. But neuroplasticity, I was able to build myself up. And I didn't go from one day saying, okay, I'm going to drive tomorrow to driving. I had to build myself up. I had to start doing eye exercises. I had to start raising my tolerance. And that is something that I help people to do because it isn't an overnight light
Right.
switch.
It's a process. Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
that's
it's, yeah.
neuroplasticity. That's creating new synapses,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
New neurons, and they're reaching for one another. And we might be able to do it one day and then they pull back a little bit and then we've got to strengthen them and try again. And so that's why having a coach is so important, like what you and I do.
Right.
Having a coach to go alongside of us and hold
It-
our hand and motivate us and encourage us and see the little pieces in our lives that we're not seeing for ourselves.
It makes life so much better when you have a coach and or a therapist or someone to walk alongside of you to because really seriously we need that accountability.
Mm.
We need that encouragement goes a long way. We need that. We need each other, like really we do. And it's no way you're gonna have it all or
Well,
you're
we
gonna
don't
be
see
perfect.
it. We may have all of the pieces inside of ourselves, and
Right.
but we can't see it. We're too
Right, we
close.
too close. We playing the game.
Yeah.
That's why when basketball players play a game and somebody say, "How did they miss that?" They're in the midst of the game. They're not going to see everything, and that's
Yeah.
how our lives are. We don't see everything, but a coach would say, "Have you thought about this?" You know,
Yeah.
let me walk alongside of you so you can get this accomplished, and so they give you extra tools that you have access to, but you have not touched. And
I
that's
wouldn't
the
be
beauty
here
of
today
it.
without a coach.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't be where I'm at without a coach, therapist,
No.
mentor, all
Yeah.
of that. And still pull on coaches, where the deficits in my life happen, where I need help, I'll call a coach in that area. Is very why would I can work years trying to do it myself and it's not beneficial because to go alongside it's so powerful to go alongside someone on a journey versus going by yourself. Yeah, you could say clap, 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 but that's a lonely place to be, But when you go alongside with someone else, you clap and they clap for you and you celebrate. It's different.
I'm glad you brought that up. Isolation is a huge pain point for a lot of people who are going through adversity, whatever adversity it is. They feel very misunderstood. Their loved ones, their family, and their friends may get a little bit weary of listening to the complaints or the stories. They may not understand, they may not validate in the way that is needed or encourage in the way that's needed. Isolation, you've lost your like I lost my vocation, I lost my ability to teach. All of my colleagues, I wasn't going out on social outings any longer. My family, my children were going on without me. My husband and I actually, our marriage dissolved. We did not make it throughout this entire endeavor. The isolation factor and feeling completely misunderstood with the emotions, and that's one aspect that I do believe a coach can help with is you're not alone in the feelings that you're having. And one component of my program is you're part of a group. I place you in a group of people where I feel you would really fit in a nice small group, and that becomes a really safe place to share your wins, to share your struggles, to encourage one another, to learn faster through each other, to be able to be open, because you're not sitting at the dinner table with these people.
Right.
You know, like they're not in your inner circle. They're
Right.
not in your life, and so it really is a great release to be able to share with a coach, but also in a group setting of people who actually understand the same emotions that you're feeling.
So true. Yes, it is. It's actually amazing to be able to do that, because doing group, I love group work, because usually they, especially, groups, are more, I mean, they best when it's common ground, right? And they, you see them from the beginning, but you see the transformation of
It's really
them
exciting.
connecting, and you start to see them transform with each other. It's a beautiful thing to see that. It's such an
Yeah,
amazing thing to experience.
it really is.
To watch that happen, I love it. That's my favorite thing about group work, is the not just me being a facilitator and the coach in it, but actually watching them connect and help one another, and and encourage one another. It's so amazing.
It really is.
Yeah. So
Very important.
wow. So love the work that you do. Very much needed. You know, that's tough going through what you went through, but it looks like it happened for you, not to you. And so if you can leave my audience with a piece of wisdom, what would that be?
Wow.
I know I didn't prepare you, right? No.
Um,
It's so much, but
well, I'm just trying to think, like hope. We need, when we lose hope, you've got to go find someone that can help you get it back.
mm,
And because you're not alone. And I remember just feeling so hopeless that nothing was ever going to change, being told nothing was ever going to change, being told that nobody knew how to help me or how to fix me, even though I had the desire. And so finding the people that get you, that understand you, that can hold space for you, hold you up, encourage you, take you through a process of where you are, that they can meet you where you are and help you find that hope again, help you find that dream again, and the reason for you to put your feet on the floor again. And
yes,
and so if you've lost hope, find someone that can hold that hope for you until you can see it again.
yes. So tell us about this book.
Oh,
When
it's
wait, I
called
love it.
yeah, this is my author copy. It's kind of beaten up, but it's called Embracing Life After Diagnosis. When life gives you lemons, choose the lime. And we didn't even touch on this, but this is a huge concept that I thoroughly believe in, is life is going to give us lemons, whatever they are. And this book is not just for people with chronic pain. You can remove the word chronic pain and put divorce. You can
Mm,
remove the word chronic pain and put loss of spouse. You can remove chronic pain and put flat tire,
just life
embracing life,
adversity, right?
any adversity. And so, life is going to give us lemons. And when I was in the deepest, darkest spot of my chronic pain, all I could see was lemons. And I say it was like there was a truckload of lemons, like a dump truck just came and dumped it in the middle of my living room, and that's all I could see.
Mm,
And so all I did was complain about everything around me. Complain about my circumstances, complain about people, complain about my doctor, complain about my symptoms. It was like I was just one ball of complaint. And no wonder people were turning their backs on me and not wanting to be around me.
so what does the lime represent?
Well, that's the thing. Life is going to give us lemons. And I have a wallpaper on this side of my wall because they're always going to be there. I have lemons in my life today. Martha, I know that you have lemons in your life
Yes.
today. Every single person that is
Oh,
listening to
yes.
this has lemons. We all have them. But what do we do with that? Do we focus on the lemons and allow them to get bigger? And so many of our lemons we have no control over. I had my car broke down on Eve. I was at my daughter's house, 2.5 hours away from home, and we had plans. My husband and I had plans that night, and my car broke down on the side of the road. I couldn't get home. I had to get a tow truck. I could have let that ruin my entire New Year's Eve, but I chose to focus on what I had control over. Those are the lines. What can you do? What do you have control over? What is one little thing that can take your mind away from the situation that you have no control over, and find the joy, find the richness in it. Doesn't mean you have to love the lemons. I don't love my lemons,
Right.
but I can always find something that I can be grateful for, that I can focus on, that I have control over. So the limes are really, really important in our life because that's what helps us take the next step forward. Because if we're constantly focusing on the lemons, we're living in the past. We're living in the things that we have no control over. We're getting depressed and anxious, and all of these emotions are showing up. But when I was sitting on the side of the road, what did I get to do? Okay, what can I do here? Okay, I can call a tow truck. I can get myself back to my daughter's house. I had to spend 2 other nights because nothing was open, right, to fix my car. But I embraced it. I got 2 more days with my grandbabies. And so, I could have allowed that. And I'm going to talk about my son-in-law here for a second, but he came to pick me up on the side of the road. And he said, I can't believe how calm you are. He said, I would be freaking out. I'd be so angry right now.
Right.
And I'm like, I have learned through my process, through the ARC framework, that all that does is zap all my joy away. It zaps, the richness and the meaningfulness of my life away when I get drawn into the lemons. But I have a whole blank framework here, a whole blank wall here, and I keep it blank and I rub it all the time because these are the possibilities. These are the things that get to change. These are the things we get to focus on. And it's blank. It gets to be whatever it is that you want.
So the lime
there's
sounds like
freedom.
a shift for change.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty neat. Okay. Well, tell our audience how they can reach you.
How can you reach me? So I have a website, catherinecourtice.com. You can reach out to me there. If you do go to my website, there's a free Resistance to Possibility workbook that if you just put your email in, you'll get the free possibility or resistance to possibility. So that's the yeah buts that we were talking about.
Nice.
And I have a private Facebook group called Overcome Chronic Pain that you can say, I heard you speak on Martha Rice's podcast, and just if you're looking to have some help, reach out to me on my website or in that Facebook group. You can find me anywhere.
Well, thank you so much, Catherine, for coming on today. And I love the fact that you did offer a free workbook. People don't know sometimes that help is out here and where to go. They don't know. That's why this platform is so important, is because they get a chance to see they're not alone. It's okay to need help and reach out, and then they have people they can reach out to. And that's why I'm so glad you do what you do, because that's an area that you actually can speak to, and people need that. It's so many people dealing with chronic pain, and so many people dealing with adversity, but don't know what to do. and you can truly get stuck and not know where to go. But now they have a place to go. So thank you so much for sharing what you do to the audience, to my audience. And I just want to say to my audience, if you feel like this episode was amazing for you and you know someone who is dealing with adversity, any adversity or chronic pain, or need a coach, reach out. You're not alone. We know it is not easy, but we have tools that you can use to get where you need to be. So please don't hesitate to reach out. You saw that we talked about how we wouldn't be here without our coaches and mentors, counselors, or whatever we needed, because it takes we need accountability. We need someone to walk up with. We need someone to walk this life with, walk the journey with. So please reach out, share this. If you know someone who will be, that this will be helpful to, please do share and subscribe, please. But I just want to thank you, Catherine, for coming on today and giving us your time, and sharing what you do.
Thank you, Martha. It was a lot of fun. A really fun banter back and forth. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed it too. So just to let you know, I will put all of her information in the comment section and in the YouTube video link, and I'm on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube and Facebook. So I will have all that information in the video and in LinkedIn as well. And if you if you want to reach out, her information